At this point in my life, the entire SpongeBob universe is nothing but pure chaos and utter hysteria. And now we're getting more scenes that we haven't even seen yet. We got this handsome fellow in a very, very, very bright and luminescent orange shirt, and he's hopefully going to give us the rundown on some of these scenes that are apparently so terrifying and psychotic that they did not deserve the throne of being on a SpongeBob episode. SpongeBob is one of those shows that is full of like random crazy adult humor and jokes that go way over your head until you actually become an adult and you fully understand it. So the fact that there were things that were still way too bad to put in the show kind of makes me a little bit nervous. The 10 SpongeBob deleted scenes. See what we got.
Howdy, and welcome back to Bikini Bottom.
You started off the video with howdy, wearing this shirt. I like this guy already.
Howdy, and welcome back to Bikini Bottom. You know, when a scene in a show gets hidden away, the reasoning behind why this happens...
And his voice is soothing.
...tends to
I'm
really
at peace.
So I thought we could talk about some of the more controversial deleted scenes in SpongeBob and why they were removed. Weird topic maybe, but I'll take any excuse to talk Spongy. For some of these scenes, the creators have told us why they were deleted, but for some, it's a bit more unknown, and I'll just speculate as best I can. The reasoning can often come down to something being inappropriate for the show, or maybe the Bikini Bottom residents do something that's considered too easy for viewers to imitate, or they're considered too out-of-character behaviors for SpongeBob and his friends. Sometimes the scenes are just
Sandy was giving people a
show.
show. When Sandy lost her fur, she was running around in lingerie.
Disturbing and unpleasant. So, let's check out the 10 SpongeBob deleted scenes. Also, apologies in advance if I don't have much good footage
it's all right,
of some
man.
of these deleted
I
scenes,
forgive you.
as some of them never even aired. But if I don't, I'll try my best to use storyboard images, or just footage from the episode it was deleted from. Anyway, on to the countdown.
Thanks, man.
Number 10. Someone's in the kitchen with Sandy.
This episode! Literally the episode I was just talking about! Sandy running around with it. Sandy's running around with the cheeks out.
Glorious. It's considered one of the absolute worst Sandy episodes, and it certainly left a sour taste in my mouth too. We mostly spend the episode seeing Sandy humiliated in front of the town.
What in Neptune's ocean is that repulsive thing?
That's Sandy.
That's kind of fucked up.
And shame on you. She looks perfectly fine.
That's kind of fucked up.
Who are you to judge, you green deformed amoeba? You see, Plankton steals Sandy's fur coat, and poor Sandy is forced to strut around the town in her underwear.
Dude, too bad Sandy ain't got an ass.
The deleted part? Well, originally Sandy was going to be completely naked. No bra, no swimsuit, no nothing. But her design was later revised from this, and they gave her underwear back. As a result, you may have noticed a gaping plot hole in the episode when you first saw it. Everyone's calling her naked, despite the fact she's still wearing her underwear.
Look at a naked chipmunk.
A hairless goat!
See, now this episode makes some more sense. So she's supposed to be fully butt naked.
She looked perfectly socially acceptable. There were some minor other scenes deleted too. Like originally, Sandy...
Oh, dude! How would they draw that? Like, would she have titties? She's a squirrel. Dude, but she wears a bra. Do squirrels have titties? Is that a thing? Like, would she have some mommy milkies on her?
Covered herself up with a construction cone and caused a construction accident.
I thought you said lil booties matter. Yeah, lil booties do matter. But Sandy doesn't have a booty at all. You can't appreciate a little booty if there's no booty there.
Like originally, Sandy covered herself up with a construction cone and caused a construction accident. And originally she found a clothing store and tried to buy clothes, but no clothes, no service. Which is actually a pretty funny joke.
Hilarious.
And for number 9, the SpongeBob movie, Sponge on the Run. You'd be surprised how many deleted scenes there were during Sponge on the Run's
development. They got that in the DVD, right?
Originally, they had some really cool ideas that I would have loved to see what happened. Check this out. Originally, this was going to be a hybrid live-action animated movie, a return to that Who Framed Roger Rabbit style of movie, And I personally think that would have been awesome to see. King Neptune would have been
That'd
human
been
like
dope.
you and me, and we would have had these dark creatures as his minions. Apparently, originally, Neptune stole Gary and attempted to clone him, but Paramount rejected the idea, thinking that a movie set in Atlantis would underperform.
King Neptune kidnapped Gary in an attempt to clone him. Why would an almighty king of the sea with godlike powers want to clone a random snail? Dude, the Gary theories are fucking confirmed! Gary is
And after
powerful!
Atlantis SquarePantis, who can blame them? It actually gets even weirder though. The next plot was a science fiction approach with giant cats as the villains. Giant cats smash through the city, chasing SpongeBob and Patrick down. How awesome would either of those stories been instead? I like both these setups way better than the generic King Neptune we got instead. I don't mind the characters we ended up with, but these would have been way more interesting. I guess the
Giant
creative
robot
route isn't always
cats
the
would have been
safest
kind of
route.
fire.
But believe it or not, it actually gets even more crazy. Their other plan was to have SpongeBob, Patrick, Sandy, and Squidward visit whole different
Are they
worlds.
sipping on
Their other plan
lean?
was to have SpongeBob, Patrick,
Bro, they pouring up the syrup, you see that?
Sandy, and Squidward visit
That's
whole
that
different
codeine.
worlds, such as a futuristic world inhabited by dolphins. But this one was scrapped for being too far-fetched, because, you know, SpongeBob is never too far-fetched. But to be fair, in an interview with Tim Hill, they said, Steven Hilberg was always a bigger fan of the more grounded, relatable plots, and I can respect they went with a simpler option to try and do what Steve would have wanted. In terms of deleting scenes, there were also some much better choices for what they deleted as well. Like originally, the Camp Coral flashbacks were at the start of the movie, so we could have never escaped them. But I guess they realized they'd get away better with their barefaced sham of an advertisement at the end of the movie, because, you know, that works so much better. And originally, Gary did droppings in his litter box, but I guess this was seen
Nice!
as too
Dude,
much
Gary
better.
dropping
And originally,
absolute massive atomic bombs, dear God.
Gary did droppings in his litter box, but I guess this was seen as
He's
too
just like
ew,
me, that's
snail
crazy.
dropping, so they got rid of it.
Now we know where he is.
A lot of deleted scenes here and there, but overall, I was okay with what we ended up with.
This King Poseidon sounds like a tough customer.
Oh yeah. Tough.
Number 8. Truth or Square. Probably the most notable deleted scene they had in this very weird SpongeBob special was from the SpongeBob and Sandy wedding.
The fuck is
Originally,
this?
the priest would say he didn't know the wedding was a play, to which SpongeBob replies, "It doesn't have to be," which causes Sandy to slap him.
Oh my
While
God,
we don't
they
have any
fucked!
confirmation, I personally think it's pretty clear why this scene was removed. It takes away any early season doubts that SpongeBob loves Sandy romantically. Though mind you, we did find
Dude,
out
he went
later in
crazy.
a very unusual way.
Nah, bro,
after
because
is
SpongeBob
splattered by
was
a truck in a
clapping
mobile game.
cheeks.
Yeah, Sandy, I love her.
And plus, I think it'd be pretty out of character for Sandy to slap SpongeBob for admitting he cares about her. If they were doing karate, she might slap him. But in this situation, I imagine she'd say something more like, "Aw, SpongeBob."
I now pronounce you Sponge and Squirrel.
Number 7. To love a patty.
To love a
it's
patty.
no secret that SpongeBob really likes his Krabby Patty burgers.
In all my years of fried cookery, I have never seen such a lovely group of patties.
This is gonna get very, very weird, and I really hope it doesn't. My mind just went to a place, a very dark place, that it should not have wandered to. This is a video about loving Krabby Patties a little too much, and I'm very uncomfortable where this may go.
But originally in this episode, we learnt just how much he really likes Krabby Patties. Spoiler, it's a lot.
Your beauty must be preserved.
And no judgment, but he's clearly got some sort of meat fixation kink going on in this episode. And originally, in the
He
deleted
mentioned the word kink, bro. He knows exactly what I was thinking.
scene, he took the next step and woke up next to the Krabby Patty in his underwear. Now to start with, how the anatomics woke up next to the Krabby Patty in his underwear. Now
Stop, bro. Stop. Just stop, bro. That is where my mind went, dude. SpongeBob was laying the pipe down on that patty, dude. Woo-wee. He was all up in them buns.
to start with,
Stop.
how the anatomics of this work is absolutely none of my business. You do you, buddy. And if you don't mind me getting Freudian for a moment, I believe these personal fixations are due to a projection of suppressed interest of his female friend Sandy.
So he wants to clap Sandy cheeks, however, she doesn't want it, so he instead decides to slide it into some butt. Okay, dude.
Unique fixations might
This
not be
is
such a
fucked,
focus
bro.
for SpongeBob if he just admitted his feelings to his friend. Anyway, as you can guess, this scene was later deleted and just toned down to them having a picnic to remove any sexual undertones.
Are you alright, Patty? You don't seem so hot.
Personally, I still think this is a really stupid episode, but it's an interesting little tidbit of information to know just how far they were planning to go with SpongeBob's fixation on fried meat.
This isn't a piece of meat, Mr. Krabs. She's Patty.
Number 6.
She got some patties, bro.
Just one bite. Originally, when Squidward awoke from his dream of marrying a Krabby Patty,
Honey.
he originally said,
Now that I think about it, now that I think about SpongeBob and that Krabby Patty, what is the deal with the secret sauce, dude? Now I gotta know, what is that secret sauce, bro?
Krabby Patty.
Honey.
Cause it...
He originally said, I have to get my hands on that Krabby Patty, and no one's gonna stop me.
I hate Krabby Patties.
As for the rest of the
He
scene,
got them thick-ass Meg
good
Thee Stallion
news.
hips.
You don't have to put up with my terrible SpongeBob impressions for this one, because I have the footage right here. Check it out.
All I have to do is... Wait. It's too easy. There must be some kind of... security? This is our burglar alarm? A bucket of water?
Squidward kicks the door open and spills a bucket of liquid, but he sniffs the liquid and realizes
Hey, this isn't water. This is... gas.
a robot arm drops the match into the gas, resulting in a huge explosion.
Why do I remember this? Why do I faintly remember this? What? Also,
Squidward enters the kitchen, setting off another burglar alarm. The kitchen bursts into flames. Anyway, you might be wondering why they deleted this scene.
I thought
Well, Nickelodeon was very against the idea of a gag involving a match and gasoline. Take it from someone who's
I
almost
swear I've
seen
seen
two
that.
friends blown up by leaving the gas on. It's not for kids to play with, and I think this one was a little too easy to imitate. My guess is the Krusty Krabs uses electric stoves. And I do the same. I can't stand gas ovens. They're way too dangerous. Anyway, I suspect the episode also had really
Okay,
bad timing.
well, you're not a true chef then. As a 5-star, world-renowned, highly experienced, internationally trained chef like myself, I can tell you that gas is clearly superior, okay?
You see, this episode originally aired on October 2001, a month after one of the most tragic, shocking events in American history, 9/11. A lot of people were still in shock, and they didn't
Nice.
want to use any explosions at the time. I think they also called it a US television standards and practice issue, but anyway, this scene was effectively removed from almost every DVD box set, even my own first 100 episodes version. That being said, even without the scene, I think this was still a really funny episode.
Does this look unsure to you?
No.
Good.
Number 5. The SpongeBob movie, Sponge Out of Water. According to Krabs' voice actor Clancy Brown, the film was a lot different from the first because almost all aspects of it were controlled and monitored by executives from Paramount. It really sounded like very difficult conditions for the SpongeBob team to work under.
They're in
because apparently
Vietnam.
these executives were, and I quote, leaning over everybody's shoulder, saying what should and shouldn't be done. In fact, a lot of the executive changes to Sponge Out
These
of Water
damn
were
execs, bro.
designed
These damn corporate executives wearing they fancy fucking suit. They got they slick back hair. They think they hot shit because they got a couple of bucks, dude.
improved marketing. For example,
Ruining good
originally,
things.
Sponge Out of Water was meant to be completely 2D animated, but the executives insisted on having CGI sequences. And as you might remember, they played up these CG scenes a lot in marketing the movie.
He's teaming it up with a wacky straw topper from the SpongeBob movie.
They also removed almost every scene involving Pearls and Mrs. Puff, apparently because they were less popular than Sandy. Both Pearl and Sandy are characters I really enjoy in the show, so I was a bit split on this one.
Earl kind of annoys me, I'm not gonna lie.
Change was an entire song they deleted from the final film. It's a song Spongy and his friends sing called Thank Gosh It's Monday. The first thing you pictured there, that's pretty much the song. SpongeBob singing just how much he looks forward to
God it's Monday, bitches!
And I'm all for appreciating the silver lining of what can be a very stressful
Why did they take that out, dude? I don't see the problem with it.
I think I would have been okay with this song. If you're curious, I'll link the original song in the description. Another interesting scene was where they served out nasty patties to customers. You know, the one that poisoned the health inspector.
Nasty patty?
Basically, SpongeBob loses his ability to make proper patties and ends up making nasty patties.
Are those patties done?
I think so, yes. I don't know! I don't remember, Mr. Krabs!
In desperation, Krabs serves them to the refund-demanding customers.
Oh, I wouldn't call these Krabby Patties exactly.
And it doesn't go well. In fact, they vomit all over Squidward.
Nice.
No surprise, sources say this scene was removed.
Dude, Squidward got it bad, bro.
Their words, not mine.
They
thought
really
it wouldn't
preying
be
on
pretty
Squidward's
if a customer
downfall.
ate a nasty patty after all these years. But despite a lot of corporate oversight, I think the movie turned out okay.
You're okay in my book.
Aw, shucks.
And for number 4, Scaredy Pants.
Scaredy
This one had a pretty
Pants.
controversial ending when the Flying Dutchman arrives and reveals
The
SpongeBob's
brain?
costume.
Absolutely terrifying. For
If you
no
don't
reason.
remember the episode, basically what happens is Spongy's really excited about Halloween and tries his best to dress up to scare people, perhaps trying a little too hard. You might remember, he essentially turns himself inside out, with his brain exposed. No surprise, this terrifies the Dutchman and the entire Krusty Krab
Yeah, it
restaurant.
terrified me as a child.
It worked, Patrick. I scared everybody.
The censors must have got cold feet though, as originally there was going to be a close-up of SpongeBob's shorn-off face.
Oh my
I tend to
God.
agree with most other speculations on this. They thought this might be too scary for younger viewers.
Little kids are easy to scare.
Originally after this, the scene
Man,
was...
look at this is why I tell y'all, children ruin everything. Fuck them kids, dude.
fade
Who
out
cares
to
about the
black.
kids?
But apparently at the last minute they threw in SpongeBob saying, "Don't worry, it grows back."
Don't worry, it grows back.
Frankly, I totally get this addition, because ending on a black screen of SpongeBob essentially turning himself inside out might be seen as a little freaky for some kids. So Tom Kenny haphazardly adding
Do
the
it
lines,
anyways.
"Don't worry, it grows back," makes a lot of sense, as they probably wanted to remind kids SpongeBob will be perfectly fine by the next episode.
Let's go scare somebody.
And for the third SpongeBob deleted scene,
Glove World.
Sailor Mouth. You might remember this.
Woo, let's fucking go. Let's fucking go, baby.
The episode where SpongeBob
This is
and
my
Patrick
kind of
start swearing
episode.
up a blue streak.
Hello, customers. Nice day we're having.
Nice fucking day.
Though my friend Jem had an interesting theory that maybe they were just talking like dolphins. And dolphin speech is just seen as
Hey, Squidward,
horrid in
how
Bikini
the
Bottom
fuck
society.
are ya?
But as much as I like this theory, this episode's deleted scene kind of squelches that theory. Because according to the episode's audio commentary, they originally planned to have a scene of SpongeBob saying, "Go yourself," followed
Go
by Patrick
fuck
saying,
yourself.
"Well, yo toe," during their Eels and Escalators game. You can probably guess why this part was removed. These two lines destroy all subtlety to the
Yeah.
episode. And I imagine hearing SpongeBob say, "Go yourself,"
Go
was seen as a little
fuck.
too
Dude,
easy.
they should have just kept it, and then not even put the dolphin noises, right? Like just put the dolphin noises for the whole episode, and then just at one random point, SpongeBob just screams, "Go fuck yourself," and that's it.
Imitated by younger
And SpongeBob
viewers.
gets canceled.
Number 2.
Do it.
The original SpongeBob SquarePants movie. Ooh. Now this is actually my favorite SpongeBob movie. And there were
Krabs
lot of
is a
fun little
bitch.
tweaks
That's
they
what the
took out of
dumpster
the
said.
movie. You know those pirates at the start of the movie? If you're anything like me, you probably felt like something was sorely missing from them, or someone. Namely, Patchy the pirate and Poddy the parrot. Oh, hey boo. Yeah, you're not a parrot, but it's good to see you. Originally, Patchy was meant to lead the pirate crew.
I order you to walk the plank.
I mean, who else would take them all to SpongeBob the movie?
You what?
Frankly, I would have loved to see Patchy in this movie, but in the final film, he was replaced by Captain Bart the Pirate.
Why?
This left me wondering, why would they ever take Patchy out?
Dude, Patchy!
Well, I forget this sometimes, but Patchy has a kind of niche appeal. According to showrunner Vincent Waller,
Patchy's
they
OG.
thought the intentionally low production values on Patchy might scare the quote-unquote movie folks. I definitely get this decision, but it's still a shame. Because to me,
stupid.
Patchy felt like the missing piece
That's
from
a
the
stupid
original
decision.
SpongeBob movie. Tom Kenny as Patchy the Pirate was a familiar face I wanted to see greet me at the start of the movie. Why not just put Patchy in a decent costume?
Exactly.
Anyway, there are a whole lot of more minor changes
Put him
to
in
this
some
movie,
Crocs,
too.
bro.
Small things, like SpongeBob referring to the Goofy Goober staff as bartenders when he asked for another drink.
Waiter, let's get another
They get
round over here.
sloshed.
My guess is they scrapped
They
this
get
line
charged
because
DUI,
it's too
public
related to
intoxication.
alcohol consumption at a bar. Another interesting change is when Spongy and Patrick escape Shell City. Originally, they were going to encounter Sandy in a real-world city.
Dude, bro, what? Listen, I still, to this day, have yet to figure out what was the purpose of David Hasselhoff. What exactly was the reason to put David Hasselhoff in that movie and launch those motherfuckers back to Bikini Bottom by flexing his man titties? What purpose did that serve? I still have yet to figure that out, dude.
And she looked like a real-life squirrel. Patrick
Why
was
was
so
David
invested in this
there?
that he vomits in disgust. And if that wasn't bad enough for Sandy, she's also at the same time getting pursued by squirrel exterminators. Jeepers, the writers really had it out for Sandy in this movie. She's clearly not welcome. It makes you wonder why she came back to land to visit at all. Maybe she's got family in there. Makes sense. Anyway, there's one other big surprise Spongy and Patrick run into in the big city.
What?
Human versions of themselves. And frankly, I
What?
still think this would have been really neat to see.
This motherfucker on Patrick on the left is the sleep paralysis demon I see in the corner of my room at 3 o'clock in the morning, lurking over me trying to eat my ass. And it's the SpongeBob looks like the crackhead at the bus stop.
Human versions of themselves. And frankly, I still think this would have been really neat to see. It's hard to even picture Spongy and Patrick as humans, so I guess for now, the closest we're gonna get is the trusty slab.
All right, troops, prepare to be deployed.
And before we get to number 1, let's go through some quick honorable mentions. Snowball Effect. This is the episode where Spongy, Patrick, and even Squidward end up in a snowball fight. Though originally, Squidward imagined taking things a little too far. Squidward originally imagined
put
taking them
bombs
to
in
a
them.
snowman dungeon and saying, Squidward originally imagined taking them to a snowman
He's got a snowman sex dungeon.
and saying,
Why?
I'll bring them to my snowman dungeon and extract their valuable secrets.
You can probably imagine, scenes of a torture room are a little too graphic for SpongeBob, so they didn't make it. Dying for
Dude, SpongeBob could be... I didn't think it was possible for SpongeBob to get even better, dude. If they had put all of these deleted scenes, SpongeBob would be unarguably the greatest television show to ever be produced by humankind. Squidward with a dungeon in his basement? What's wrong with that, dude? The youth need to know about torture chambers, okay? They don't get enough education about that, dude. Fuck the Pythagorean theorem, dude. I'm trying to learn about torture.
pie. You might remember this episode as the one where Squidward thinks SpongeBob is going to blow up. So they spend time together in what Squidward thinks is Spongy's last day on Earth. You might remember there was a kinda gross open heart surgery scene in this episode. Originally, Squidward asks,
Are you sure you should be poking it like that?
to which SpongeBob replies,
Who's the doctor here, me or you?
and blood ruptures
It
out of
squirts.
Squidward's heart. Ugh. Nervously, Spongy plugs up the hole. While we don't have any sources, I think the reason this line was deleted is pretty straightforward. The writers didn't want to give kids the impression SpongeBob considered himself a doctor, even though he has no qualifications. And frankly, I think that's a fair
That's
call.
a stupid fucking reason.
Huh. Did you know originally we did get to meet Mr. Krabs' parents? You see, in this episode, Krabs finally earns his millionth dollar, to which he calls his parents proudly to tell them. Unfortunately, they're clearly quite dead, so there's not much they can say. Again, I don't have sources for this one, but I think the reasoning's pretty clear. It was probably seen as too jarringly dark a joke for younger kids. Particularly, it was probably...
What is this structure behind him? Underneath this random, what is this? I could describe to you my thoughts as to what the intended purposes of this are, but I'd probably get deleted from the internet.
Joke for younger kids, particularly very young viewers who might not even be introduced to mortality yet. Some kids might suddenly have some questions to their parents about why Mr. Krabs' parents were in the graveyard. But if you're curious, according to the gravestones, they were named Victor Krabs and Betsy Krabs. Procrastination. You might know this as the most relatable episode in all of SpongeBob, because SpongeBob very accurately shows what it's like to be distracted while you're trying desperately to get yourself into your work or school. Originally, for 13 years, 3 scenes are removed from this episode.
Why?
That was back in October 2006.
Why?
13 years later, though, they were allowed back on Nicktoons. Better late than never, I guess. Originally, SpongeBob looks out the window and sees Patrick rubbing lotion on Sandy, who says, "Come on, SpongeBob." Apparently, this scene was removed because it looked like Patrick was unhooking Sandy's bikini, but I saw the original airing and I never got that impression. I just thought he was giving her a shoulder
Dude, he was
massage.
giving her a rub down.
Originally, SpongeBob exercising was removed.
He was rubbing her more on her
because
shoulders.
Get this, apparently SpongeBob's nose moving up and down looked obscene. The third scene they thought was a bit SpongeBob's nose moving up and down looked obscene.
Dude, I can do that.
The third scene
now with my nose
they thought was a bit too much was a scene of a car crashing into a wall. Apparently Nickelodeon feared the kids might try to imitate the crash. Well, yeah, fair enough. Though personally, I think most kids are smart enough to
You want to be
never try
Dale
anything
Earnhardt
like
so
that.
bad. Was that fucked up to
Whatever
say?
happened to SpongeBob?
I don't watch NASCAR.
Probably the biggest change to this episode was the removal of the Who Bob What Pants theme song, which I thought was a shame because this song legitimately made me smile when I saw it. Maybe they didn't want to mess with the original song? Beats me. F-U-N. I think this one's been mentioned before, but apparently Plankton originally pointed his gun out and said, "So what happens if we shoot him?" pretending to fire his net like a rifle. SpongeBob responds, "You don't shoot him." Again, I get this.
Plankton be on it. Plankton is on demon timing, bro. He got that thing on him. He ready to let that chopper sing.
Firearms references in SpongeBob.
He got the
probably weren't looked upon
extendo.
well. Anyway, on to number 1. And here's my number 1 favorite SpongeBob deleted scene. Red Mist from SpongeBob and Random Land. Now to start with, I gotta say, I love this new episode. Almost everything about it, but whoa, this deleted scene caught me by surprise. So if you don't know, the Krusty Krab gets a delivery to Random Land, which you can reach by walking around randomly. There's so much to unpack in this episode. For now, let's just roll with it, and I'll review it at a later date. So as you might have guessed, Random Land is a place where seemingly anything can happen. Basically though, in this discombobulated, backwards, random world, originally, SpongeBob and Squidward did encounter something very random and unexpected. Just a heads up, very mild jump scare in this next scene. Now, if you're not familiar with creepypastas, you might be wondering what the Jeebus
Why are your
eyes?
Do you see this image?
If you're not familiar with creepypastas, you might be wondering what the...
Bro, my guy and Squidward literally got the exact same eyeballs.
Jeebus that was.
Wide as hell.
That, my friend, was Red Miss Squidward. Based on a fan-made creepypasta horror story that makes Are You Happy Now look positively cheery. Needless to say, Nickelodeon very hastily backpedaled on including this scene, and it was hastily deleted. But how bold and cool of the SpongeBob creators was that? To try and include that
why
scene,
is this kind of freaky?
Seeing the SpongeBob creators acknowledge the outside fan-made SpongeBob world is frankly so fun. In that brief moment in this deleted scene, where Squidward stares back at a nightmarish SpongeBob fanfiction mirror of himself. It's a shame though, because the scene was very quickly replaced.
I think your understanding of fanfiction and mine are completely different. I would not consider this to be a fanfiction.
But the SpongeBob crew really wanted to do a Red Mist reference, and to me, that's really cool. To quote the artist who drew it, Adam Paloian, pardon me, I hope I'm pronouncing that right, the show's crew wanted reference to a truly silly, trying to be dark fan fiction. I'm looking forward to discussing this strange but awesome episode further in
What is happening?
Mission accomplished.
Anyway, I'm normally pretty bothered by shows excessively cutting scenes, but I
Dude,
gotta
I
say,
haven't seen
can
that
see the
episode.
SpongeBob
What the
crew
fuck
put a
was
lot of
that?
thought into whether to remove these scenes. And sometimes it's just time constraints. A quote I personally try to take on board all the time is, "You're not done when there's nothing to add. You're done when there's nothing to remove." And I think that mindset's no exception here. And just a heads up, I'm definitely doing another SpongeBob video soon. I just had too much fun with this one. So if you like my SpongeBob vids, stay
And the
tuned.
psychos
So
in the
until next
comments
time,
will
thanks
form
for watching,
riots and
I'll see you
angry
when I see you.
mobs until you post another SpongeBob video. Trust me, I know. Trust me, I know. Dude, like I already said, bro, SpongeBob somehow is already so fucking good and could get even better if they would just allow those scenes. Patrick serving a back rub, SpongeBob serving pipe on the Krabby Patty. Plankton was toting the 9, bro. I feel like this show could have been even better than it already is. This show's already legendary, already one of the greatest cinematic masterpieces to ever be created, and they could somehow make it even better than it already was, dude. Kind of upset that some of these scenes eventually did get deleted, dude, because there's a little razzle-dazzle to it.